Good morning, good morning, good morning, and greetings to you all. I say to you all, but I don't actually see anyone on here as yet, but good morning anyhow, and welcome to beautiful, beautiful Barbados. And of course, Barbados, a journey 246. Thought this morning we would come in. We put this in on the Facebook section, sunrises, or Serenity sunrise and sunsets. It may not be sunrise, but it's still beautiful and early this morning. We want to share the absolute beauty of this area with you. We're going to show you the section here, sort of like of an update of the beach in another way as well, because you can see how much sand has shifted from here. Good morning to everyone. As you said, we want to bring you a little bit of serenity and peace, but we also want to show you the amount of damage that's still in the south coast and how much more is happening now. So this is sort of like a beach update. Good morning to everyone. Of course, good morning from my wife and from our beautiful little puppy as well. She's down here this morning. I'll let you put her down in the sand. Let me see what she does. So
well, she's gonna take off.
That's all right. You know, you take off with her. That's all right. So here we go with some energy and some happiness now. Second time that she's been on sand, which is beautiful. She's having, oh my goodness. Chat the energy you understand what's going on here. Let me take that stick. I got the stick. You don't worry about it. So this is how we get, this kind of energy is how we get woken every morning in bed. She come up here, go crazy, just as you see her in the sand. This is the kind of energy in the spirit. So you understand why she is so important to where we are right now. Good morning to you, Karen. How are you this morning? Lovely to see you on board, Karen. It's lovely to have you here with us. You should be walking with us, though, but you didn't know, so I can't blame you this morning at all. All right, we're going to walk in that direction, and then we're going to come back this way. Maybe we're going to walk in this direction above here, have a look at Sugar Bay and come back down. Let's just walk this way. Yeah, so this morning, as you can see, Jeanette's hands are full, so she will not be commenting on anything. She's completely busy at the moment. All right, so right in front of here, as you know, you can see clearly what's happening here. It is getting worse and worse and worse. Obviously, because of Beryl, a lot of the areas that were protected, the intersections that were protected, the sand was moved. And as you can see, some of the trees had fallen. It is actually a lot worse. We gotta go this way over here, unless you want to go through there. It's a lot worse this morning, or a lot worse than we have seen it in the past. You know, I put the camera in anyone so early this morning. Good morning, folks. How are you all? Greetings, man. Still love and energy from Barbados. You all mind the camera or too early? Okay, well, we want to share our love with you all this morning. We're Barbados, a journey 246. And our journey is to show the beauty of Barbados, which really truly lies within the people of Barbados. Yeah. So we walk in the morning, we do a lot of sunrises and stuff. We do a lot of community events, and what our journey is all about is to give love and hopefully receive love. So that's what we're doing this morning. Right. Welcome to Barbados. First visit?
No.
Multiple times?
Many times.
At this location as well?
Yes.
So you know how much erosion has gone on here? Yeah. Beryl actually moved everything from outside. It was protecting all of this inside section, and it's very heavily eroded, but it's still beautiful, Barbados.
Still beautiful.
All right, you all have a splendid day. Enjoy yourselves.
Not come back.
Oh yes. Thanks for the energy as well. Do you have any family back home you want to shout out? Anyone that may be watching this that you want to say hi to, or just want to say hello to the world? Just the world?
Hello to everyone.
All right, wonderful. You all enjoy yours today, okay? Have a blessed time, all right? Okay, take care. All right, so nice, as we like to do, start off by interacting. I'm so full this morning. This is so much fun to watch. We love to watch and interact as we are going by. If you all are familiar with this location here, you would know Drifter's Restaurant is absolutely beautiful. Lovely old Barbados structure that was here that's been modified. When this was first built, tell you what landscaping can do. When this was first built, this really was sort of like very uncomfortable on the eyes, because it was all originally painted in white, and all of the landscaping that you're seeing from here right up to the main structure, which was Ocean View years ago, that is all new landscaping. All the front section here, buildings on left and right up to the very end where you're seeing at the base of where we're looking at now. This is all fairly new, but when this was first built, it was really hard to take in, because without the landscaping, it was just a white, glowing, bright object. So now it's looking beautiful, absolutely beautiful landscaping. Just shows you what landscaping and nature can do. All right, so just to give you an understanding of what has happened here, transpired since Beryl, because we're going to call this one of our beach updates today. Prior to Beryl, the sand used to go almost right out to that rock there that you're seeing in the center of the camera now, that little rock. It used to come back in and it's sort of like a horse shape kind of look, and then back down in that direction. We're going to walk that way in a little while, so we'll tell you a little bit more about it. However, we have seen it going and coming, very much seasonal. Sometimes of the year you could actually at low tide walk around where you're seeing this rock in front here. You could have walked around there and continue up to what was Asta, which is Sugar Bay, which is going to take you about a couple of minutes time. I think it was Amaryllis at one time too, can't remember offhand. I think that's correct though. Names at this time of morning may be a little bit difficult for me. But as you can clearly see, all the sand has been dislodged. Now, for those that say only West Coast is impacted and the West Coast beach is small, obviously I've not walked the South Coast recently. We've done a lot of walk on the South Coast off camera, taking in what's been going on. As you all know, the journey in the morning, we don't do sunrises too much anymore because of security issues. So as we turn on this camera, you know where we are, and we are talking about sunrise and pre-dawn, where we will be in very lonely areas prior to the actual sun coming up by ourselves. May not see anyone at all. So rather than continue with that at this present time, we have brought it back to like later on in the day, and then if we are going out really early in the morning, we generally do so by ourselves without the camera on, so we can be able to enjoy the serenity and peace as well. The damage to this South Coast is really intense, and to think that we're now going into the months where we're going to see major erosion, because from January right through until March approximately, or any big north swell that comes down at this time right now off of the cold fronts is going to get pushed around with the high pressure systems, and then high pressure system gets more dominant and more intense as we approach into the January, February, March, April time, where it's Easter, the high strong winds that we're familiar with. So these beaches are going to take more of an impact. We used to walk down here, as I said, we could walk around in front of these rocks here, maybe in about ankle deep of water, under general low tide conditions. Right now it is high tide, so we're going to be seeing the beach at its smallest, but you can appreciate how high this tide is coming. None of this erosion was here. We used to pretty much walk off a level sand and walk up through that pathway there in the years gone by. That has changed since Barrel passed there. You get us a fitness this morning, man. Jeez. The energy, man. I've been looking forward to bringing her back to the beach, because the first time we brought her to the beach and our walk a few weeks ago, or a week ago or so, when we did St.LawrenceGap, we didn't have the camera on her too much. But this morning, we obviously can put the camera on her, because any of you dog lovers out there, any fur baby lovers, will definitely appreciate how much fun this is and the energy that she's bringing. Good morning to Rosemary. It's nice to have you on board. Not pronounced the last name this time. Alright, sea erosion. We're not going any further up. Sea erosion that we talked about. You will remember, if you look back at our vlogs, we not stay too long in this bright light, but you will remember if you look back at our vlogs prior to Barrel, we will walk up here comfortably on sand at any tide, maybe a little splash of water coming on our feet at high tide, but comfortably on sand. All these rocks that you're seeing here were all covered by sand. You used to actually step up, come up these steps here. Most of these were being covered by sand as well. However, since he passed in a barrel, this poor sand has not rebuilt. So this is Sugar Bay. Originally it was Asta Hotel years and years ago. It basically kept the same footprint out front. However, the modifications to the rooms has been a major uplift, and also to the rest of the facility itself directly behind. Unfortunately, they've lost all the seafront area. So most of this section here, where you would have been standing on majority of sand, is now majority of reef again, because the sand has moved completely. Barrel did some major erosion to the island, as you can quite clearly see by the fallen trees and stuff as we were walking down here. These would have happened either at Barrel's time or just after, with the continuous erosion and stuff which we've experienced. It's a beautiful morning. Yes, I see, is that beautiful Sugar Bay? Yes, it was. You were here in October, so congratulations on you first of all, Darren, you and your wife, for choosing Barbados for your honeymoon. So you would have seen, if you come, as you said here, you were here last October, I think it was, yes, you would have seen this beach the same way. But just imagine that a year and a half ago, prior to Barrel, maybe a year and 3/4 ago, you would have walked on dry sand all here. None of these rocks would have been seen whatsoever. This would all have been under sand. Some of these rocks have actually been dropped since Barrel to try and protect the wall, but you wouldn't have seen the lower section of rocks, because that would all have been embedded in sand for sure. Cheese on bread, so lovely. So if you all, for our lovers, you all know how sweet this is here to be able to bring little Papa on the beach with us this morning. As you know, we call her the cute puppy. We could have called her the love puppy or the energy puppy, and that would have gone on just as well, because unconditional love. Another addition to our journey. More love to us, more love for us to share, of course. This piece of land here, the car park, just on the other side of the growth here, is used by Sugar Bay for, not Sugar Bay, sorry, is used by the hotel below for their parking. As you would remember, if you were around years ago, they had two beach homes down here, Lath and Plaster and Shingle mainly. You see down the side of here, beautiful, beautiful beach homes. And you used to be able to drive that right down here. It was very popular after those homes had closed for people to drive down here and picnic a little bit. And then the hotel had actually utilized all this section directly in front of us here. We are seeing higher growth, the broad blade grass, and also part of the foundation behind there is their sun deck at one time. So all this area was clean, and they had out their chairs and umbrellas, and that would mean prior to COVID itself. After COVID, they stopped using this section of the land, and they just concentrated on the property below. So I'm not sure if there was a problem with the actual using of it, or if they just decided that they had enough facility with the beautiful landscaping and stuff below. But this is no longer used as a hotel. The two ways of coming down here, there was one main road that branched off into White, which carried us two different directions to the actual beach where we're standing. You will see up in the very far distance there is a small road that starts to come in. I would not advocate driving down in here right now because we don't know how much water bags in this area, because it does actually bag, especially around that tree in the center. That area has sort of like a little pond when it's heavy rains, but you can see that the same area that we talked about before is beach chairs. Some of the chairs, they're just stacking their chairs here, but all out here was lined with chairs in this section where we're looking at right now. Absolutely beautiful. I see someone called Sangel. Good morning to you. I hope that's the right way, or Sangel. I hope that's the right way to pronounce it anyhow. And also to Rosemary. Good morning to you as well. Alright, so erosion. Wow, what a big thing. I mean, seriously, we used to come down. You see where the path came originally. You can see where the footpath came right here. I have a stick using in my hand, so I can as well keep it. This is sort of make sure that we protect the little girl on the beach in case anything comes around. But you can see where the path used to come down. You used to step down. This is normally maybe a foot and a half. You can see here actually by the colors along the concrete wall quite clearly. You can see this ridge here, approximately where the stick is darker. This is where it would have been under sand originally. That's where you used to step down, and that's for the majority of the year. And depending on what time of the year you came down here, the sand would go around that point there, as we said, to the rock in front of it we showed you before. Sometimes it would stop there, but you never really had a problem in stepping up or down here. Maybe a foot or two. It's got a little bit more intense since then, and it continues to, as well as you're seeing erosion. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning. Drink responsibly. Yes, just exercise that when you're on the island, please. Clearly, if you have been here, you will be shocked right now, because all in front of these trees here, all the in front section where the sand is being moved, and all the, I would say the soil, because it actually has soil and sand on these trees, that is all gone, completely gone now. And these trees are actually being threatened because these are heavy, heavy trees, and it depends on the root structure. A casuarina structure is usually very, very shallow and very wide. Roots spread for a long, long distance, but extremely shallow. So they're probably ones that will be subjected to more of a problem. And then we have the almond as well here, which is very top heavy, as you would know, and therefore these will also be threatened. So we'll watch these going forward as we see time going on, and maybe some will rebuild, which we'd hope for. Unlikely right now until the end of, I would say, March and stuff. If it does rebuild, it will get moved again. But March, because of the swell size, should hopefully bring some back off of the reef and push it back up here and re-strengthen this beach, giving it a little bit more volume in this section. But you can clearly see what we talked about with casuarina roots. When we say shallow, we mean shallow. You can see a couple of them go down, but majority of them just spread wide and long. And that's what the casuarina tree is all about. If you see a young casuarina anywhere, you can literally pull it up because it's barely under the surface. So just explain that structure for you as well. Beautiful Brandon's Beach, known as also, or really known as the Drill Hall Beach. Absolutely lovely years gone by. This is a heavy, heavy used picnic area. I mean, any weekend, any bank holiday, you would have seen hundreds and hundreds of people up here in the shade, bringing their picnics and stuff like that. Nowadays, you don't get as many. There are no facilities here, no washroom facilities. Well, I'm not talking about the hotel, of course, I'm talking beyond. No washroom facilities and no changing room facilities, no showers. They had on that concrete structure there a tap years ago we used to shower under, and on the other side was a concrete sink, and they also had a chemical washroom there gone years ago. But as you can see, it is a beautiful natural area. We're going to take you walking down here and talk a little bit as we go on. But look at the trees that have fallen. This is a recent fall. When I say recent, within the last year, this coconut tree would have come down. I see her energy has gone down a little bit. She's still pulling. All right, and as you can see, more are falling. So all of these were upright. Talking about years ago, just prior to Beryl. Majority of these here, some of them they had a little lean on them, but certainly not the angle they're at now. And as you can see, they're beginning to go down. These root structures are going to hold it because they're long and shallow going inland. However, as you wait, it starts to get a little bit too heavy, especially with that volume of coconuts on it. This is going to fall for sure. Beautiful though. We're going back down a little deeper onto the beach, but we didn't want to walk through water at this present time because I do have all my beach shoes, and if I don't have to get wet, I would prefer not to. But this is the parking general area. If you are seeing this morning and you're not familiar with how to get here, when you're coming down from Oyston's direction and you're coming down, you pass, of course, you're going to be passing by what was the former Hastings police station. It is still used as like barracks. That's on the top of the hill there, directly center. As soon as you pass that, or as soon as you see the garrison come into view on your right hand side, there is a left immediately from there. Likewise, if you're coming from Bridgetown, as soon as you see the garrison about to disappear from you, you will have a right, you can come down this hill. So it's very easy to find, very easy to drive down here. However, on rainy conditions, be careful down here because there are a lot of digouts. We'll show you in a few minutes, hopefully. A lot of digouts in the sand from being formed by ponds of water and stuff like that. So if you come down here, sometimes you can actually go very deep in water in certain areas. So just be careful if you're driving a car. If you have a higher clearance on a vehicle you're driving, you should not have any problems in coming through here. But otherwise, just be wary, because from where you're seeing this marl end here, actually where marl is, you get some pockets as well. But from there, right down through the casuarina trees, in areas that some casuarinas have fallen and stuff, where these stump holes are quite deep, you have to be very careful when you're driving down in there. All of these trees that you're seeing from here, the entire way down, are within my lifespan. When I was a young guy and I used to surf, and like when I first started heavily when I was 16, I used to come down here with, at that time, our posse, that was Kevin, Trot and Ashley, and we would come down in here and surf. Now where you're seeing those white posts sticking up to stop people from driving on the beach, that is where I would say another maybe 5 yards in front of them was sand. Otherwise this would all have been sea and reef. Used to come off by where you're seeing that big tree there just behind this one here, that's deep bark in that one there. That's where you would have started to come into the water from, generally in that area, and that was the entire way down. So all of this sand here, it has come into place, and all of these trees have come into place in the last maybe 48 years or so. That gives you a approximate time frame of when we're talking about. So anyone that's not seen down in here, since those days, the days of the big fairs that you see held at Defence Force, where you used to look through the back window and see down in here and don't know how to get to it and wondering where you could get to it from, this is where it is. But it's absolutely beautiful. Very natural now. They had, at one time down here, was much better maintained than it is at the moment. I'm not saying it's not maintained well, because it's still doing a lot of work around. However, up under here is now really bad condition at the moment. As you can see, it just needs some tender love and care, because majority of the stuff is being cleaned up. But as you can appreciate, when these almonds start to fall, leaves from these almonds, it is a long, tedious operation. It goes on for months and months until the fall is finished. You will also see heaps of stones. They're all around up here. Imagine all of these. I mean, seriously, literally all of those stones you're seeing in heaps direct center of the camera around each tree base. They all washed up here due to Beryl. Beryl had water coming up and sea coming up all into the section, bringing the rocks off of the reef. So all of these rocks here that you're seeing have not been brought here and dropped. These have actually come in because of Beryl. And instead of throwing them back in the sea, what people have done is they've put them around the base of trees to try and tighten them up. Still pretty bad at the moment. I see night owl flight. How are you going? The beach up at Thunder Bay, just like all the other beaches in the island, are trying to rebuild. It's still under, I had to use the word under thunder, excuse the pun. But that Thunder Bay has definitely got enough room to put some beach chairs and stuff on it, but it's not a strong beach. If you look at the beach from the water up to the embankment in front of the actual bars itself, you will see how flat it is, which means that when the north swells start to come in, the erosion is going to be severe again. And again, we can thank Beryl for her passing that did all the damage to the west and south coast, of course. But that will give you a little understanding of what is happening around the island. We did show you during our I would say our walk the other afternoon to do the Run Barbados run. We did show you the condition of Carlisle Bay. Carlisle Bay at one time recently has been considered one of the strongest beaches. That has been depleted to less than half its original size. Here has a good rebuild of sand starting to form in this general area here, but as you will see, the southern end or the eastern end of the beach, really no sand whatsoever. But as you see, as you go further and further, sand of course moved with barrel and with general tides from the east to the west. So the western end of this beach is going to be a lot stronger than the eastern end, and you've seen that around just around the corner out by Sugar Bay, etc. as well. But beautiful. Now for Old Year's Night, a lot of people say New Year's Eve. We in Barbados call it Old Year's Night. A lot of people I've seen on the travel groups asking about places to go out and enjoy festivities or Old Year's Night. Well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to dress up in your finery, three-piece suits and Old Year gowns and stuff like that, this would not apply to you. This would apply to people who like to go on a beach and sit from early in the night, come down early with their food in their baskets and their chairs or towels, or throw rags, or I should say throw towels, and put them on the beach and spend the night, because the Hilton Barbados and Sugar Bay have an amazing fireworks display every year, and along the south coast as well, Acre Beach right up to Oystons. So you can't see Oystons at Acre Beach from here, but I'm just saying that to you that there are other options besides what I mentioned. The Connie Boardwalk is very, very popular for Old Year's Night. But here will turn into a sea of activity. You're going to find people who will bring tents down here, will bring generators down here. They will come down here from early day and spend the entire day into night down here, and then everyone will start moving and finding selected spots out on the beach so they can sit down and watch. To the left, of course, fireworks display, and then to the right, probably one of the best fireworks display in the island. That would obviously be Hilton. So this is a perfect location for that, something that you can come and do and enjoy yourself in a different way, in a tropical way if you want. Imagine spending Old Year's Night watching fireworks in festivities, because down here has its own culture. You're going to get families on families on families and children running about. It's going to be like a big open picnic kind of thing down here, nighttime picnic. So you can come down here and join festivities, enjoy Old Year's Night fireworks, welcome in the New Year with a pair of baggies on or a bikini on if that's so what you desire. Swimming in this area, not good. So Kenneth Mears, man, I'm so happy to see you on board here in Paul Whitney. Thank you, my brother. I see you know the erosion I'm talking about. It is crazy. Savannah, Sugar Bay, there are a lot of other areas as well, but they're terribly impacted at the moment. And I know you're very familiar with it, not only from the land, but the air. So, and you know, swimming down here, very, very difficult. We're seeing this tree that's hanging up. I'm going to point the stick again. In that general area there, that tree, right in front of that, there's a little pool, or just above that actually, it's in line with those rocks that come in as they're growing there. Just to the east of that, there's a little pool that you can go in. Can't really get a lot of people in it, and I don't know how it is right now with the sand moving the way it is. It might be filled with sand, but there's a small pool there you can sort of like soak your bones in. And if you come on the right kind of tide, there is a trough similar to like the west coast that will run all along this entire beach area here that you can go into, especially as we get close to the Hilton, and you can submerge yourself in that. You really can't swim at this location unless you walk over the reef and swim in the deeper sections, because all in here is reef. Now, years gone by, out here was full of cobblers. If you had stood anywhere on this reef, you would have had a foot full of sea urchins. Nowadays, very few of them are around. However, there are lionfish, remember, in Barbados. So one of the most serious watermen in the island has said in our vlogs before, never put your foot down, especially if you're on a reef in Barbados. And that's Alan Burke, of course. So you all would know his experience. And he gave us those words of wisdom when we were getting some briefings from him on some of the surf points that we were taking in, and we interviewed him at those. Likewise, other people that were at those surf venues we interviewed as well. That's called the Surf Breaks of Barbados if you're interested in finding that. But when you're here in the island, please don't put your foot down on a reef, especially on the reef, because there are sea urchins. There's shark coral, although there's not as much shark coral as before, but there are also lionfish and other things like eels and stuff that will be in the reef. So don't put your foot down the reef. If you're surfing and you get knocked off your board or whatever, especially in this area and any reef formations, just try and get back on the board without pushing off your reef if you possibly can. Right down here, it's very popular for surf schools. A lot of guys leave their boards here as well. I know Che Allen is one of the guys that come down here and have surf schools as also. There are quite a few of them. Mackie, Bruce Mackey and a couple of others do surf schools down here as well as Alan Burke, Dreaded Dead. All of them are going to be down here on a day, because down here offers, like the Freights, down here offers a long, easy ride when it's small. So most of the guys who come down here, if it's like a small to medium kind of swell, and introduce people down here, or as I said, up at Freights, or also at Dover Beach on the left-hand side if you're looking at the ocean up in Marisol. There are three notorious areas for learning how to surf, because it's a little more calm. Don't think that down here is an easy place to surf though, because when out here is pumping, this is called Brandon's. When out here is pumping, you're talking about that same rock jetty that goes up there. You're going to be, some of the guys are going to be taking off to the east of that and riding the entire way down and coming in all the way down below this guy here. They'll be surfing and ending on the last peak that's down in there. So there are multiple peaks. It depends on what swell's coming through as to how far up you can ride, and also depending on the tide as well. But you can get rides from way up there the entire way down, or you can also find peaks. One here, you can find a midway peak here, and you can find a lower peak down in that general area. So multiple peaks, and it is predominantly a left rate, but there are some insane air rates that will come through here. Very hollow, very quick, and very steep. So you'll find some guys doing their airs out here as well on the right hand waves, which will be taken off when the point is directly in the center of this camera here. Paddling out for here, years gone by, you would have eased your way through some sand and gone out here. Most people will take off by the rock jetty if it is really big, because it can time the sets and go between the sets and the peaks that we talked about earlier. Or you'll be able to paddle out from the lower section beyond where that guy is if it's extremely big, and come right around the back section and paddle up. That's a long paddle, but sometimes it's the only way to get out here. Good morning to you, Aaron Barrow. It's lovely to have you on board again. All right, we did say that we would take you briefly up here. Well, as you can see, my wife does not need to go to a gym anymore. She's getting her exercise here like crazy. All right, we did say we'd bring you up in here and show you a little bit of it. I hope we don't lose any signal up under here. We do know this is one of the strongest signals in the island, but we also know that we've been here once before and we have had a complete blackout in this area as well. Don't know if it was something the Defence Force may be doing, because this is the Barbados Defence Force barracks, main barracks, St. Anne's Fort. So they could have been scrambling stuff that morning or something. All right, so you could see a little pool there. However, we show you like the drive in here, you'll see all the dips and stuff. They try to level it all the time with sand. However, that gets washed out, and as cars go through, it also brings it out. All right, so this tree here would have been the standing tree. This would have been right on the actual high mark, the high water mark. High water would have come up just sort of like to where this growth of grasses or bushes is here. This is where your high water would have come up and surged up onto the beach. Low water would have been approximately in this area here, directly in this line here, straight up behind me as well. That's where the low tide would have been, and you would have been in the sea from the time you got with a small little palm here. You would have actually been probably in the deeper water at that stage of the game and working your way out to surf. So this is one of the areas that has trapped a huge amount of sand here, Carlisle Bay, also down at Brandon's over on the Mighty Griner Highway, aka Spring Garden Highway. These are beaches that would have trapped it, and I would assume it's associated with the Bridgetown Harbour, just as it is for Carlisle Bay and Brandon's. There's a little cove in here, so sand has come in and dropped. It also holds sand quickly, because just the other day, well, not just the other day, Beryl, it's a year and a half ago approximately, we were right here, right where you're seeing this section here, was where you would have been going in to the actual angle of there. So it has built, I would say, maybe about 10 feet of strength closer in now. And then you're still going to get that pretty steep angle going off, which is not generally that steep, but it is rebuilding, which is a beautiful thing. So it is trapping the sand for sure. This is one of the places that held the international surfing competition here. I think probably around 2018 or so, somewhere in that time frame, just before COVID came in, maybe 2019. This is where they had an international pro-am competition. Really, really popular, because as you can see, all of the shade and the comfort in this area. However, as we mentioned, no amenities whatsoever. So when you come down in here, you either have to walk to somewhere like, say, Pebbles, where they have a beach facility, to utilize their facility, or find some other alternative. But nothing down in here. So you have to bring everything with you as though you're going on a picnic. But beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Down here you'll also see a lot of names being mentioned, with some graphics on logs that have fallen, trees that have fallen, on the wall of fame in the background. These are all people that are recognized as wave warriors who have passed. Majority of them, their names will be put down here. Hoodie, for example, is one. There are quite a few of them. Xander is down here. Quite a few of them are down here in the back wall, and also on the logs as we're passing. You'll see them inscribed on it. It's just a matter of respect. There are surfers that surf there all the time. This would have been their home break, and therefore they would be recognized as fallen soldiers or fallen surfers. So that respect is still on. But a beautiful, beautiful morning. Thank you for walking with us, by the way. It's a little later than we normally walk, but we said we'd walk this morning because we ourselves wanted a little bit of peace and serenity and beach life this morning. Kazarina, man, sticking to her there. Just put her down. She's going to get a lot more. Don't worry about it. Kazarina, prickles? Okay. Alright, so we're going to walk a little further down now. You can see how far back the parking is. Before they had put up these posts, believe it or not, people were driving right out to this edge here, which is certainly not good because down here sea turtles as well, and also obviously driving to the beach does a lot of damage to the actual sand area. But a beautiful location. So if you're coming down here as a surfer and you want to bring your family with you, whether you have babies in your family or you just have a partner with you, whatever, and they don't surf, you can comfortably find somewhere up in here all day long, because no matter what time of year, even although now the south has shifted, the sun has shifted a lot to the south at this time of year, you are not going to get sun going up under these trees. You will always find shade here no matter what time of the year. So this is a beautiful place just to bring your family and relax. You can see hoodies right here. That is a fallen soldier, Harris. I'm not sure if that is a fallen soldier, if that is Mark, who is an avid surfer and photographer. It could be him as well. And there are some names on the back there. And when you see locals only, it's not locals only as in this area is for locals only, because some people see on the wall, I'll say that sends a negative, but if you look at the whole wall and you read what it's all about, it's just telling you that only local surfers will be put on the wall, so that we can recognize and remember them. It's not that we don't like international surfers, but as you can appreciate, we have our own home people that we want to make sure that the respect continues to flow to them, and make sure they never fade from our memories or our hearts. But an absolutely stunning, stunning morning. Majority boards you're going to find out here today are this small conditions. They're going to be long boards, much easier to catch the wave, and also they maintain momentum as long as you get it moving. Whereas you're not going to find like a bodyboard or a short board out here because they don't have the buoyancy that are necessary. Bodyboard, it could be work. Actually, see one bodyboard out there, so it can work, but it's not going to be most thrilling because it's going to be a little bit slow and lacking on power for sure. Alright, so Beryl would have claimed the beach pretty much up to this here. You can see the immediate step up. So when Beryl came through, majority of this sand would have been down flat. This would have moved out and then come back in. So this is built, and fortunately the beach is rebuilding beautifully. Again, all of these are new growth. All of these trees here that you're seeing on the right hand side. So when I say new, I'm talking about in my lifetime. So if you were visiting here 70s, 80s, 90s, you would have known what we're talking about, but from then on it started to build quite quickly. Just as we had seen at Sandy Beach, that has actually gone the opposite direction now, but down here is building and building more. Again, it depends on the time of the year as to how you're going to find this beach. This is normally building time for beaches, because this is the time that we do, unless we get a hurricane, this is the time that we usually don't get a big swell coming in, and then now we're going to go into spring tides, etc., which is going to shift it all. So this beach is going to change again as we get further on into the year, especially around in March and April time. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning. Thank you for everyone that's coming on and walking with us, whether you're on right now, whether you just came and paid a brief visit to capture a little bit of serenity and the beauty of Barbados before you went to do whatever you need to do today, or whether you come on later today because you're looking for something to look at, something cheerful and warm. Hopefully this will work for you. Just behind here, Tennis Association have some courts, practice courts, and also I think it's two or three full courts as well. As you can see in the distance there, we'll take that walk one of these days, or if you want to see it, just put in Brandon's in your search, or in our search in our channel, and you will find videos have done the back, the front, when it was a brilliant beach, when it was a beach that had lost a lot of its strength directly in front of us. You can see what's happening here. It's starting to narrow again, so the cove effect that we protecting this sand from that point up there, and also from up further on, that is now starting not to capture the sand. So as we get closer down here, you're going to see that the actual sand area in front of where Beryl took away has not rebuilt very quickly, because there's nothing really here to hold it in place. Hilton rocks are not really going to hold this in place for sure, especially when the currency tides come in here. We have spoken to you about cooling off in the trench areas. This is what we're talking about. You can see he's standing waist deep of water, and he was in between the sand and the coral reef. So if you do want to cool down, you're in this area, this is one of these spots. Or you can walk down the Hilton, and if the south beach of the Hilton, which is the one that they have in between the boulders there, is not cranking too heavy, because that can be very dangerous when there's a big surf. If that is rough, or not rough, you can swim there, or just down to the western beach at the Hilton, which is down by the fort, which is usually protected a lot from the south swells that we would experience. Not from the big south swells, but the smaller south swells. Barbados Hilton. We've talked about that, we've shown you that. We did actually a vlog down here the other day, but we're still going to end right down with Lifeguard Hut. Give you a couple more minutes. So right now I'm going to let you all walk in silence and enjoy the peace of serenity and the sounds of nature as we do so. Here we go. And in case you're not familiar with what our foundation is, that's our foundation, love. All right, that's where we start with our journey. All starts with love. Love for ourselves, which then turns into love for others. It has to start with yourself, of course. And remember, the love that you're going to start sharing is not your love. It is a love that has been given to you. It's a blessing that's been bestowed on you. So remember that, and share it with trueness and sincereness, and not just trying to make friends. Do it because you sincerely want to be a good person and you want to share it. It doesn't matter if you don't get it back. If you don't get it back, it's not relevant. The relevant part is the freedom of giving and having no limitations on sharing love. If you're one of those that walk around that doesn't like to share love to your partner openly, or pulls back for fear of a hurt heart or anything like that there, then you're not living true freedom. That is in my opinion anyhow. So I can only share my opinions on here, not anybody else's. So if you're not truly open, sharing yourself with the partner that you're with, and letting them know how much you truly, honestly, and sincerely love them, you're wasting the opportunity. Because remember, tomorrow is not promised. And I am sure that tomorrow you're probably saying, I wish I had have said and told them how much I love them. Because I know that from some of my relatives that died, that I did not show them the love and respect that I had for them. At that time, I wasn't really capable of doing it, in a mental position of doing it. However, I am now, and I always include them in my prayers and always ask them for forgiveness for not letting them know how much I love them before they pass. Beautiful. More and more foliage is developing down here. As I said, they're not doing the kind of cleanup that they used to, because all under here would have been, all of these weeds that are going to be holding sand in place would have been pulled up before, or vines I should say. These are all being moved, and under here it is clean because there are no leaves under it, but the actual growth itself they're leaving to try and hold the sand, because they've obviously seen the amount of sand that was moved when Beryl passed here. Alright, so here on, you see a red flag. Now this could be further up the beach as well, I guess, but from so, just so wet, man, get there. Love it. Yeah, so from here on now you can get a lot of tides, so you gotta be careful, because you can get pulled off your footing, especially around this point here, or on the inside there, the actual Hilton, the South Beach that we mentioned before. That also has a strong current, so if you get caught just outside the rocks, you will get pulled beyond the rocks and down to the west of them. So just be careful if you're not a strong swimmer, if you're not familiar with sea currents and stuff. Don't think that years of swimming in a pool, even if you want a gold medal at the Olympics in a pool, not the same as the ocean at all, different elements. So just be careful and be aware, and on the lookout for things that you're not familiar with, and that way you keep yourself cautious. Alright, sand down here also moved a lot. So much so that water actually goes on the inside of those rocks majority of the time, low or high tide. Years gone by, again before Beryl, not years, but just before Beryl, we wouldn't have seen any water on the inside of those rocks unless it's splashed up on the rocks and come over. Right now, as you can see, it's making a little channel going from here, due to the high tide, straight across the rocks, and moving sand, of course. You can also see clearly the concrete slab that's here that if you have been to Barbados many times, you may not have actually seen that, depending on the time of year you come. That is usually buried under sand. Again, it has not rebuilt since burial. It started to, it didn't cover completely, but it's gone again now. So you can also see the fallen trees and stuff. We're not going any further here, but what we can do is take you up in lifeguard hut, give you an elevated view of what's going on. Thank you for joining us this morning. Remember, we are moving free-spirited now. So we ourselves don't even know when we're going to vlog until we're going to vlog, pretty much. Or until we start to prepare to go and vlog. So we can't give you advance notice. We can't tell you where we're going to be. We're at places that we can't. In our write-up yesterday as to what we have plans coming up, in case you did not see that. Of course, we're going to be covering Q in the community. That is our Love Fest, main Love Fest. So we'll be taking that in. We have an event at St. David's Parish Church. It's Christmas in St. David's. That will be on Saturday night, evening into night. As you know, we covered that last year, or if you didn't know, we covered it last year. And we were invited at that time to come back and cover it this year when they held it. So we, of course, accepted, and we have been promoting that for a little while. And then on Sunday, we're going to have what we like to call the jump start to Christmas. If anyone is not feeling the Christmas spirit and they attend Sunday's event, they will most definitely get a jump start to this season, and that is for sure. That will be Carols by Candlelight, and that is offered by the Rotary Club of Barbados. That's being hosted by the Prime Minister's residence at Lara Court. So if you are not already acquired tickets, we recommend that you do. They have some specials on for groups, like as in adult and 2 children is like $30 or $20 off what the regular rate would be, etc. So you can have a look at that. It's up on all of our media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and also YouTube. Can't post that kind of stuff on TikTok. They're really only reels, so you won't see it there, but you'll see it in all of our other channels in our community section. That's where we'll be. Doors open at 3 for that event. The event actually starts at 5, so that will give you an indication of the kind of numbers we're talking about. We're talking about heavy numbers. It's a massive, beautiful outdoor, almost like an amphitheater, because it's based in something that looks like a little bit of in a sink, a gully. So you sit all around the outsides and stuff, and then as the night progresses, candles will be given to you on entry. And as the night progresses, everyone lights their candles, and we come together with the spirit and the harmony and the energy and share it. We will not be able to broadcast live at that event. We may do a preamble depending on what signal we get, but we do know that last year we had a terrific signal. We had terrible reproduction because as people came on, hundreds of people came on, did their own reels and their own videos of friends and stuff, and right there the actual bandwidth dropped terribly. So we know that will be in a 4K resolution. Saturday should be in a live based on last year. Thursday will be a 4K and hopefully a preamble. Unlikely preamble, more likely a 4K only, because we know that Highgate Bar does not offer a good signal at all. We've seen that on numerous occasions. So last year we did 4K, we can do that again this year. We won't be doing a Q preview this week, but we just did one at Highgate a few months back. We will put the link in this here, so that you can always have a look, or we put it in a separate, but you will get a link where you can see what Highgate is like, so that you yourself can come and go. Remember, our preview last year showed us a place that did not look as though it would be ready in time. And then when we went on the day, all the promises that had been made by the host of clearing everything, washing down everything, making sure everything was comfortable for the guests and stuff, or for those that were attending Q in the community, they did. And they did so above what we expected. So on Q Day itself, we found a venue that was amazing, and we had an incredible time. So hopefully you will be able to join us at that in person if you're on the island. Remember, that's like in the Dash Valley area. You can look at that. We'll put our links up and stuff as we get more closer to the actual Q Day itself, as we always do, so you'll be able to join us. Anyway, thank you for joining us today. We're going to do something a little bit different for our ending than we normally do. First of all, we say farewell to our little cute puppy who has energy out of this world. As you can see, I have a very fit wife now because of her. She's so excited. And then, of course, a beautiful wife from myself, who you have not seen yet for the day. I have sort of like me holding the best for last. I like to tease people a little bit, you know. I know you came on here to see me, and I know that you will stay on for the entire vlog if you don't see me. So I decided I wouldn't show myself until I got to the end. Anyhow, we can do something a little different. On behalf of Barbados, a Journey 246, we are sending our love and our best wishes your way. We hope that today will be a peaceful and serene day for you, but of course you want it filled with joyful, occasions, because we want you to enjoy every second of life, every minute of life, as there's no promises of any more to come after this very moment now. So after that moment, there were no promises of anything to come. However, we have been granted the ability to continue our journey today. We're going to bring you to it. So we're going to just take you down here, and we're going to leave you with a serene view. And we won't be talking, we won't be saying farewell again, but we will tell you we're Barbados, Journey 246. We will tell you that we need your energy and your love. So if you're walking towards a positive light, and you endeavor every day to be the best version of yourself, by portraying and living in a positive way. Remember, if you have not subscribed already, we would love your subscription. And if you have subscribed, or if you're going to subscribe, just activate our alerts for our channel, so that way then you can come and join us and walk on walks like this here. And you basically spent your morning in Barbados, so thank you again for joining us. They're not the volume on here, as you can appreciate. A lot of people will be going to work. We didn't put up any notifications and stuff, so for all of those that watch us later, thank you for joining us. And for those that are walking with us now, thank you for your energy, and for your spirit, and for your love. And as we promised, we're going to give you this, and we're going to give you this here for 1 minute straight, 60 seconds. Yes, I know how much. We'll bring some joy and happiness and warmth into your day. God bless you all, and until we walk again together, stay safe, stay well, protect your vessel, that be you. If you don't protect your vessel, you can't help anyone, or you can't take the word. See you all later. If that's you arriving this morning, we encourage you to not stay in your hotel, to get outdoors and go around the island, go into some of the rum shops, or go to some of the cultural or the more local events and enjoy yourself and see what Barbados is all about. Staying on a beach is lovely. Going in the sea all day long is lovely. Going in a bar and nightclub all night long is fantastic. And having some of our amazing food here in the island is also fantastic. But if you don't experience our culture and you don't experience our local people, you're not experiencing Barbados. You're just experiencing the tourist side of Barbados. We want you to enjoy Barbados as a local, so get out there and get involved in some of the community stuff that's going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. Just check the Facebook pages and all the other pages that are out there advertising on what's going on. So again, bye to you, and bye to you, and we'll catch you all later. One love. See you all, guys. Thanks for joining us today.